This is ARRL Audio News, your weekly summary of news highlights from the world of amateur radio. If you retransmit audio news through a repeater, listen for the Morse code K character, followed by 4 seconds of silence. That's your cue to stop transmitting so that your repeater timer can reset.
Hey, how you doing? This is ARRL Audio News for Friday, July 2nd, 2021. I'm Rick Lindquist, WW1ME. The FCC in June denied a petition for reconsideration filed by Hobby King of a nearly $3 million fine for marketing non-compliant RF equipment and for failing to respond to FCC orders. The fine resulted from an FCC investigation initiated in a January 2017 complaint from ARRL that Hobby King drone transmitters were, quote, blatantly illegal at multiple levels, end quote. The ARRL's 2017 complaint was filed after it was learned that Hobby King was importing and marketing drone TV transmitting equipment without proper FCC authorization under FCC Part 15 rules. The Electromagnetic Compatibility Committee of the ARRL board was credited in the complaint with calling attention to the issue and prompting ARRL's action. The ARRL laboratory documented that the operating frequencies of these drone TV transmitters near the 1.3 gigahertz amateur band were dip switch selectable for frequencies used by other radio services, including air traffic control air route surveillance transponder systems. Field day entries are arriving fast and furious as of June 30th, just 3 days into the field day entry submission period. Entries already had topped 3,000, with more showing up every minute, 3,651 as of July 2nd. ARRL Contest Program Manager Paul Bork, N1SFE, says 201 of them were 3 or more operator club entries, Class A's. 385 were 1 or 2 person club or group, Class B, 33 were mobile entries, Class C, and 34 entered as Emergency Operations Center stations, Class F. 2,414 entries operated from home stations, 1,831 as Class D, commercial power, and 583 as Class E, emergency power, Bork said. Last year there were 10,213 total entries, 611 as Class A, 1,086 as Class B, 134 as Class C, 6,318 Class D, 1,980 Class E, and 84 Class F entries. Entries must be postmarked or submitted via the web app at field-day.arrl.org/fdentry.php by Tuesday, July 27th. 2021 Field Day results will appear in December's issue of QST. This is ARRL Audio News, heard in Los Angeles, California, Mondays at 7:30 p.m. on the 145.38 repeater, courtesy of the Western Amateur Linking Association. Time now for the AMSAT report. AMSAT has announced that its 39th Annual Space Symposium and Annual General Meeting will be held in late October at the Crowne Plaza Suites, Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport in Bloomington, Minnesota. The AMSAT Board of Directors will meet prior to the symposium. Further details, including final dates, hotel reservations, tours, and other events, will be announced in the coming weeks. Jean-Marc 3B8DU reports that Mearsat-1 was successfully deployed into orbit from the International Space Station on June 22nd. The event was broadcast live on JAXA YouTube video. The Mauritius Amateur Society presented awards to 10 radio amateurs who received Mearsat-1 telemetry and submitted a participation form. Jean-Marc reported superb media coverage in Mauritius and Reunion Island on TV about Mearsat. The satellite is in good health, and commissioning tests are being performed by the Mearsat-1 team. Digipeater and image broadcast activation dates have not yet been decided. The AMSAT report comes to us each week, courtesy of Bruce Page, KK5DO. The world's first wooden CubeSat successfully completed a test flight into the stratosphere in June. WISA Woodsat is constructed using birch plywood panels in a 1U configuration, measuring 10 by 10 centimeters. 9 small solar cells will power the satellite, which will orbit at an altitude of 500 to 550 kilometers. The novel spacecraft will carry several amateur radio experiments, as well as photo downlinking, including selfies. A goal of the project is to determine how well wood products will perform in space. During the recent test, a functional model of the WISA Woodsat climbed 19 miles into the sky, tethered to a weather balloon. The satellite's camera captured a selfie video of the balloon bursting, a parachute deployed to take the nanosatellite back to Earth, where it was recovered intact, lodged in a spruce tree. Fabricated in Finland, the wooden satellite is based on a basic KitSat CubeSat platform. Once in orbit, WISA Woodsat will be able to extend its selfie stick to capture photographs of the wooden box as it hurtles through space at 24,800 miles an hour. This will allow the mission leaders to monitor the impact of the environment on the plywood. The satellite would downlink its telemetry and images from 2 cameras using amateur radio frequencies. ARRL Audio News is heard in Moreno Valley, California, Tuesdays at 8:15 p.m. on the 146.655 repeater, courtesy of the Moreno Valley Amateur Radio Association. The massive Duga-1 antenna array that transmitted the obnoxious and infuriating Russian woodpecker HF signal from the 1970s until the late 1980s is now a cultural heritage site. The array, located near Chernobyl in Ukraine, was part of an over-the-horizon radar system designed to detect and offer early warning of incoming ballistic missiles from the U.S. A complementary receiver site was located some 40 miles away. While the system was operating, its broad rat-a-tat signal, typically at a 10 hertz rate, caused severe interference on the amateur bands. The audio you just heard was the woodpecker drowning out a WWV transmission. The Chernobyl nuclear power plant disaster and the end of the Cold War spelled the end of the system and the interference. Nearly 2,300 feet long and more than 450 feet tall, the steel beams of the radar array in the Chernobyl exclusion zone tower above the surrounding forest. Ukraine's Minister of Culture and Information Policy, Alexander Chachenko, said, "Our heritage is not only the area around the power plant, but also the buildings located on its territory." The first Youth on the Air YOTA camp for young radio amateurs in North, Central, and South America gets underway on July 11th in Westchester, Ohio. Among other activities, campers will be operating special event station W8Y from both the National Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting in Westchester Township and from the Camp Hotel. The camp will run until July 16th. Camp Director Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, said the camper count is 23. We're very excited to finally bring this program to the Americas, he told us. Our young people are bringing an incredible lineup of hands-on sessions for their peers. Rapp would also like to replicate the camp over multiple locations in the future and hopes it will help grow a more robust community of young hams. The long-awaited summer camp for up to 30 hams aged 15 through 25 had been set to take place in June 2020, but it had to be rescheduled until summer 2021 because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The camp for young hams in the Americas took its cue from the summer Youngsters on the Air camps held for the past few years in various IARU Region 1 countries. ARRL and the Yasmy Foundation donated project kits for the campers. Xtronics provided temperature-controlled soldering stations. For more information, contact Camp Director Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, at director@youthontheair, all one word, .org. Some brief items. The third QSO Today Virtual Ham Expo will take place August 14th and 15th, with presentations available on demand for 30 days. Sponsors promise a flawless experience that will expose visitors to new ideas, equipment, and practical techniques via the VFairs platform used successfully in the first QSO Today Virtual Ham Expo in August 2020. Some 80 speakers have been lined up to offer expert knowledge and information for amateurs at all experience levels. A live roundtable video will allow attendees to interact with each other and with exhibitors. ARRL is a QSO Today Virtual Ham Expo partner. Registration is now underway. You want to make moonbounce contacts? Moonbounce enthusiast Steve McDonald, VE7SL in British Columbia, Canada, wanted to determine a back-to-basics equipment complement for making 2-meter EME contacts. He came up with a 9-element Yagi, a 120-watt amplifier, and an antenna position control system that offer azimuthal rotation but not elevation. By the way, the next ARRL EME contest weekend is October 23rd and 24th. And that's ARRL Audio News for Friday, July 2nd. For details on these and other amateur news happenings, visit the ARRL website, www.arrl.org, or better yet, subscribe to the weekly ARRL letter via your website member profile. And let us know where you hear ARRL Audio News with an email to audionews, one word, @arrl.org. This past week, we heard from John, N9IJS in Illinois. For now, I'm Rick Lindquist, WW1ME 73, and we'll see you next time, everybody.
ARRL Audio News is produced by the American Radio Relay League, the National Association for Amateur Radio. For more information on amateur radio or the ARRL, visit us on the web at arrl.org. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter by searching for ARRL. If you have a question or comment about ARRL Audio News, email us at audionews@arrl.org. This program is copyright ARRL, all rights reserved. 73, and thanks for listening.